I call this meeting to order at 5:38 p.m. May I please have a roll call?
Yes. Board Member Dina Flores,
Present.
Board Member Aaron Cimental,
Present.
Board Member Dolores Rivera,
Here.
Board Member Patrice Tenzioni,
Present.
Board Member Armando Barajas,
Present.
Superintendent Dr. Alejandro Alvarez,
Here.
Dr. Julie Harrison,
Here.
Maricela Barba,
Present.
Tamika Lonasco,
Here.
Student Board Member Saraí Jaramillo.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda of the regular board meeting of August 27th?
So moved.
Motion by Board Member
Seconded.
Cimental, seconded by Board Member Stanzioni. I can say that, I really can. Roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Open session, we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Sarai, can you please lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance?
Place your hand over your heart. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One day. Have you all copy of
Okay, moving right along, we have staff presentation recognition, Dr. Evers.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to begin our staff presentations, ask Dr. Harrison to come up and present on the Arts, Music, Instructional Block Grant spending plan. Sometime last year, I think maybe around January, February, Dr. Kennard just presented what the AMIM block grant was and its purpose. And so Dr. Harrison today will be presenting what the district's plan is on how to utilize, we'll be utilizing those funds. So Dr. Harrison?
Thank you. Here.
All right. Board President Flores, Board of Education, Dr. Alvarez, the cabinet and guests, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to present the Art, Music, and Instructional Materials Grant Plan for input. I think I get to, I just, oh, look at that. I missed one, let me go back. There we go. So, the state of California passed AB 185 Omnibus Trailer Bill, and this was a $3.6 billion discretionary block grant that went to school sites. So here at Bassett, we received 1.7 million for this block grant, and it really was in an effort to come alongside Prop 28, which you will remember came just before this trailer bill here. So this one is specifically built for certain expenditures. So this one can be used for purposes such as standards aligned professional development, instructional materials, school culture, and operational costs. So it's pretty specific. As far as professional development and instructional materials, they must be standards aligned. So of course, when we're looking into these things, we're making sure that they're backed by the state and they follow along our guidelines for adoptions. When it comes to areas of subject areas for focus for Bassett, we are looking at focusing on literacy. We know that's one of our pillars for our 3-year plan. English language development is a big focus here in our district. Visual and performing arts, which this trailer bill is written for to support those. And then we get into our core subject areas that we are allowed to use some of this spending for. Got it now. So when it comes to professional development on improving school culture, the state gives us some guidance on some of the things they'd like to see this used for. They're looking for de-escalation techniques. They're looking for transforming school culture, socio-emotional wellness, and really kind of working with the students on the campus to make sure that we are moving in the same direction. The students are safe and they're happy. They have digital literacy and digital media literacy, which we see can be problematic sometimes in schools. So they really are kind of pushing us in this direction. So see that these are some of the recommendations from the state for us. They also allow us to use some of the funding for operational costs. These are just allowable expenses. That would include things, it's not limited to, but retirement or increased healthcare costs. And also, in addition, operational costs, looking at anything related to COVID-19 that's still remaining out there that may have become problematic for schools to adjust to spending. So there is an allowance in there for safety, things that will keep pupils and staff safe. This could be things including like an HVAC system if needed, if you needed to update for circulation. So they really give you quite a broad range of spending possibilities. When it comes to Bassett Unified and looking at where we are here and where we're hoping to go with some grant funding plans, these are some of the things that we've talked about that we're bringing forward for input. Obviously, the arts, we do want to support the arts within the program. This is specifically designed to support the arts. And as you know, when Prop 28 was presented by our school sites, they called out some very specific things that they want to see happen at their school sites. So we got input from the sites on their Prop 28 spending. Now, if you remember, Prop 28 is 80% staff. So like, here's all this money for arts and education, but you got to use like the vast majority of it, 80% on staff. So there's a little bit of wiggle room there with 20% that we can use on other things. And that's where this grant funding comes in. This can come alongside our Prop 28 plans, and it'll allow us to really bring those materials, instructional materials, instruments, supplies, art equipment to the school sites to couple with the Prop 28 funding. In addition to that, we have improving school climate. We know that our staff has gone out to PBIS training at the beginning of the year. So we're already setting the ball in motion for those positive behavior supports on the campus to really work through the positive culture that we're hoping to see on the campus. And the teachers are leading that charge for us. So this gives us an opportunity to really advance that more than we were initially, because we now have funding to support that and support the teams doing the work at the sites. So that's one example. In addition, we do have the ability to use some of the funding for core subject instructional materials. If we needed to have supplemental adoptions, right now we're looking at adoption. We've just done all the adoptions for our science, and now we're looking at the advanced placement, things of that nature. If we needed to, funding could be allocated that direction. In addition, this is where we can really work in our next gen math initiative that we're bringing to the district. And we've got a chance to dive into that last year. And now this year we're rolling it out even more. So it's giving us an opportunity to have professional development around next gen math. And then in addition, our USD reading and literacy authorizations. This last year we're starting with 4 teachers, getting them on board. So they're starting soon. This funding will allow us to accelerate that work with USD because it can be allocated in that way to really support the literacy plan that we have here in the district, and also aligns with our 3-year plan that was developed by the board. So those are some really strong points for us and things that we're planning to do. We can also use the funding for core subject professional development. So if the teachers want to do instructional rounds, get in each other's classrooms, we can use the money that way to help develop that collective teacher efficacy. And then in addition, if there are funds there still to be used, we could use them and allocate them to operational costs that could be associated with retirement or healthcare if needed. And that's the basics of the plan and how some of the ways it can be spent. So now is the time if we have any input or discussion from the board, so we can get your input. What do you think so far?
Board Member Rivera?
Yeah, I have a question. I know the students at the high school have been asking to start a small orchestra. Could any of this money be used for that?
It can, absolutely. And part of the Prop 28 plan was to get the mariachi going. And that's just one piece, but that would also help us house something along those lines. And in addition, part of their plan was to create a small jazz band with Prop 28. So now that these plans are coupled together, this can definitely be sent in that direction.
Board Member Stanzioni?
Does this money allow for a small team to go to a different district and look at model programs where this money is being utilized? Because
Yes.
that's really powerful when you get out of your own world and get into others.
It does, and that would be part of the professional development side of the house. So that's an absolutely, that's a use that we can.
And as far as input, you know how, we all know that the arts enrich kids' lives and it acts as a SEL lesson in and of itself, whether it's therapy or getting through a moment. So I'm completely supportive of getting the arts in there. I do worry about the packaged programs that are sent out, because we've had both in my
Okay.
experience, where I'm at. And when you get an artist in there, an actual artist / teacher in there, it's so much more powerful than having somebody come in and present a package or read from a computer and then have the kids do a stock art piece where that's not really connected.
Okay.
So that's, I won't use names of different programs, but I think to have the authentic art and connecting that with science, with math, with history, it's just super powerful. So if we could somehow integrate the arts into the curriculum. I know Alaco did a big training on it a few years ago, which I was lucky enough to go to, but I think it's still really valid.
Thank you. Board Member Simonton?
Thank you, Dr. Harrison. I just want to confirm, so BUSD's allocation is 1.7 million from this block grant. Is it one-time money?
It is one-time money and it expires in June 2026.
For
So we have 2
the-
years.
For the sake of members of the public and our new student board member, could you elaborate or explain the difference between, I guess, this one-time money versus Prop 28?
Okay, so the Prop 28 is actually, Prop 28 was a grant, it was like sort of like a grant that came through that was specifically allocated for the arts programs. But the goal was to hire staffing, to basically have extra hours and do staffing. And it's one-time money, which can be problematic sometimes because it goes away. So with that though, with the Prop 28, they gave us that funding to bring in staff. And now this one came behind it and they said, okay, we gave you that for staffing. Here's a grant that you can use, not just to support the plan you made for that. So good job for the plan, but it also is a way for us to use it for some other things. If there's other incidentals that come through in a school district, but really the intent is for instructional materials and arts, but it's one-time money. So again, when you have one-time money, you want to invest it in things that can stick and that last, that stay, that you can use for many years, like instruments and uniforms and things of that nature. But then you also work in professional development and train up our own staff so that they can do things like bring in those art programs to the elementary schools without having to bring in outside vendors. So we have flexibility, but when they give it to us in one time, where it's like, it comes to us and we work through the spending window and then it's gone. So we hope for more after that.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. I guess, and follow up to that, I don't think I have much input to provide. I like to get my 2 cents whenever I can, really, but it sounds like this plan it's a solid framework for which you're intending to do with Ed Services. Of course, I'm always going to heed that we talk to our sites, our administrators, our teachers, and those little things that our students have been initiating themselves, that they've been asking for years and years, like making sure that we could actually bring it to fruition, spending today's dollars on today's kids. But I also in full agreement that this is one-time money, purchasing stuff that is gonna stay here for multiple years, if it is instruments, instructional materials. So just, I appreciate the forethought into this, and I hope that this is an intentional project. It's not something we're just spending for the sake of spending.
yeah.
We actually have a good plan for this for our students.
Thank you. Board Member
Yeah, I
Rivera?
have another question.
Sure.
As we're talking, they come up. This one-time money, so if we start the mariachi program and the jazz, so when the money's gone, the programs are gone?
So
Is there, are we working and keeping them? or-
that's a good question. So the big ticket item with the mariachi is making sure we have all the instruments and those pieces. And then after that, it would be a matter of staffing. But once programs like that get going and we're allocating resources, if that's something that's popular, we work as a team, and I work with Dr. Alvarez to say, okay, so this money may be expiring, where else can we fund this from, because we can't lose this? So that's the trick is, it's not really a trick, but that's what the forward planning. So we know this is gonna last 2 years. So as soon as it gets rolling, we're looking at year 3 and 4 where we can shift to keep those programs in place.
Yeah, because we've been there and done that. We've had a mariachi in 3 different schools or 4 different schools. We had brand new instruments and everything, and then we ran out of money, and I don't know what happened to the instruments. They were
Okay.
put away. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
But it stopped. That's way
Yeah.
before him.
Mhm.
Before his time.
Board President, if I may, I would say just the difference is, the school side allocation of Prop 28, which is ongoing money. That's the funds that they would be using to pay for the staff that would be teaching, like the mariachi, the orchestra, versus this one-time money we would be using to supplement the program by
Mhm.
buying the instruments that they would need for the ongoing program. So absent something happening to Prop 28, which would require, I think, a voter approval, because Prop 28 is a voter-approved initiative. That funding will continue to come. The only thing that'll vary is how much depending on one's enrollment.
So if we hire new staff at the end of the program, when the money's gone, they're gone too?
Well, so that would be the key thing. We want to make sure when we do hire staff, it's going to be paid out of Prop 28. That's the ongoing fund. And the AMIM funds, that grant would really only be used to support the program by buying instruments and equipment.
Guitars, keyboards.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
Yeah,
Board Member Pimentel?
thank you. Small question, with all this new equipment that we'd be potentially purchasing, could we also pay for the storage, the lockers, the way to house it and secure it so that it's not going missing whenever there's an interim period?
Yes, that would be allowable.
That's a good
Mhm.
question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Harrison, thank you so much. I'm very excited and I love that you're doing a survey with the campus sites to see what it is kind of they want. So it's working together and that's well. I have a question, operational costs. You said they could be used for some. Question on those operational costs, can it be existing projects? You kind of mentioned the HVAC. And we do have funding for our HVAC. That's, the
Yeah.
funding for that is not, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Alvarez, it's not as restrictive as this one.
Mhm.
So maybe freeing up some of the monies over here and utilizing it here it can free up those monies to be
Mhm.
used elsewhere, such as what Board Member Rivera said, to make sure that we ongo that, given that this is one-time monies expiring June of 2026,
Mhm.
which seems like a long time, a long way away,
not.
but it's gonna come.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I got millions, so
Okay,
operational
yes.
costs, so I would ask that you, and I'm sure you're going to, work together to see how can we kind of move things around so
Mhm.
that we can make sure we maximize the use of it, and I know we will.
Yep.
So I like the digital media and that, part of the funding is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
used to make sure, ensure student safety, because that's very important, very important. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. I know we talked the other day, we met,
Mhm.
talked about the arts, and I'm
Mhm.
very big fan of the arts, so I'm looking forward to that. I mentioned Sunkiss, they have that Baile Folklorico,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
that's really good, yes.
We're not scheduling drama in there with the arts, performing arts? Besides mariachi and,
There is in the plan, in Prop 28 plan, theater is for both 6th through 8th grade and TK through 5, both specifically asked for some theater as part of a theater program as part of
not
their.
for high school.
The high school did not mention that, but that doesn't mean that it can't be something that we look into.
Wouldn't that have to be worked into the regular schedule? I know
Potentially, yes,
Yeah.
depending on
Maybe with the-
staffing and, mhm.
Yeah, that
English
has to be
credential.
Right, or art.
It just has to be
Mhm.
worked into the.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
schedule.
Board Member
Which the
Yeah,
kids
they
have asked.
specifically mentioned dance and some other things.
Thank you, Madam President. Dr. Harrison.
Mhm.
In terms of follow-up, and maybe this also to Dr. Alvarez as well, but whenever this plan is being implemented and we actually have maybe some data as to what we are purchasing, what programs we are bringing in, could this be brought back to the board either in a presentation or a report, so that way, we're kept abreast as to this plan actually going to effect? It's not just a presentation we get on a fun Tuesday afternoon. It's something that we can see physically happen.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for the report.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for this. Every time now that I hear things, I think, okay, Which of our four pillars does this fall in?
Yeah, this one hits, this one like hits all of them, basically.
Yes. So thank you so much. I love it. Okay,
Thank you, Board President. Next, I'd like to ask the Personnel Director, Ms. Janelle Sanchez, to come up. She'll be presenting the Personnel Commission Annual Report.
you're on.
Good evening, Board President Flores, members of the board, Superintendent Alvarez, Bassett community members and staff. I am Janelle Sanchez, Personnel Director, and I'm honored to present the 2024 annual report on behalf of the Personnel Commission, representing the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. To begin, I want to provide some background on the merit system and the value the Personnel Commission brings to Bassett Unified School District. So the merit system is composed of rules and procedures contained in the California Education Code, which governs the classified service. The system of personnel administration encompasses the basic principles of employment and promotion on the basis of merit and fitness, prohibition against discrimination, and equal pay for equal work, impartial hearings of appeals and of disciplinary action or applicant disqualification, and assures that career paths are established. The merit system serves to support the selection and retention of a qualified, efficient, and productive workforce that is well-trained, equitably compensated, and afforded promotional opportunities. The Personnel Commission is committed to ensuring the merit system is effectively administered by providing quality employment services supportive of the Board of Education's strategic plan and effectively working with the board, administration, and classified employee representatives. The Personnel Commission rules and regulations apply to all classified employees. So this does encompass CSCA bargaining unit, confidential management, and unrepresented employees. Permanent classified employees do have the right to appeal disciplinary action taken to the Board of Education. The Personnel Commission may sustain the decision of the Board of Education, modify it, or reverse it and order back compensation or seniority to the employee if appropriate. The Personnel Commission directly supports our students by hiring and promoting classified employees based on knowledge, skills, and ability, proper classification system and current job descriptions, providing for reasonable compensation, retaining employees based on performance, training employees for high quality performance, assuring fair treatment of all applicants and employees, and protecting employees against political coercion. Who we serve, the Personnel Commission specifically serves Bassett students by partnering with administrators to staff quality employees to deliver excellent service and make a positive impact on students' lives. In recruiting for classified positions, we directly serve the Bassett community, 284 permanent and 90 substitute employees, and public applicants from interest calls or visit to the district office, rescheduling or providing application assistance and appointments in English and Spanish in our office, testing support in rescheduling sessions if needed, offers of permanent and substitute employment through LiveScan background check, which is where the transition occurs from the Personnel Commission to Human Resources. Here's a recap, an overview of the annual goals we sought to accomplish this year. Support Spanish-speaking applicants by providing quality service in language. The personnel analyst and personnel technician that were staffed this year are bilingual in Spanish, which assists us at job fairs, application assistance, and proctoring Spanish examinations for Child Nutrition Assistant 1 and Student Safety Monitor positions. Attend and participate in professional development opportunities for continuous learning. We'll dive a little deeper in that later in the report. Attend and participate in district and school site events to increase visibility and availability of Personnel Commission to the staff, community, and district partners. We were honored to represent the Personnel Commission at 4 school site / Bassett events. Improved tracking of position funding, control, and assignment approvals through the new personnel requisition form. This rolled out on March 1st, 2024, and was the beginning of more fiscal oversight on staffing assignments, which we'll discuss more as well. Provide coaching to management and new administrators on classified evaluations, setting clear expectations, and positive employee communication. We partnered with HR to present these recommendations at the July 19th through 21st, 2023 Leadership Symposium, as well as offer guidance to principals for probationary evaluations. So this is an ongoing communication with our managers. For our recruitments, you'll see a summary of 120 total. This number is higher than the 41 positions listed due to the need of creating multiple eligibility lists per position as noted with parentheses. So you'll see key positions like campus monitor, custodian, in which we had to test and certify additional eligible candidates to ensure that the school sites receive the service that they need. I do want to note that the Personnel Commission team positions are all listed, 33 through 35, because they were all recruited for this year. So the department was not fully staffed until January 25th, 2024. Here's a snapshot of how the number of vacant position recruitments trend year over year. Here is a snapshot of the applications received. As you can see, there's a very clear downward trend. We are happy to see the slight upward increase compared to last instructional year to this year, which can be attributed to extending our recruitment efforts on College Career Center job boards, veterans network distribution of our recruitments, and job fairs attended. Bilingual oral exams are included as a snapshot to see how many positions requiring bilingual skills are required year over year to effectively serve our Bassett parents and community members in language. Here is additional quantifiable data in recruiting classified positions, including number of applications, appointments in the Personnel Commission office, and selection process testing. Instead of going through everything, you can definitely review. I did want to call out the 21 test reviews with prospective and current employees. So this is specific to coaching individuals who did not pass either their written exam or were very low on the eligibility list due to a low score on their oral exam interview. This test review is based on each individual's performance. So we are highlighting the areas of strength that they have the knowledge of, and then providing recommendations on what subject areas they should study on in preparation for the next time they take an exam. And then I also wanted to call this out because we completed our first test review in Spanish due to staffing bilingual employees. For accomplishments, you'll see that we nearly doubled our presence at job fairs. So we attended 9, where last year we attended 5. So that was a direct increase based off of the goal set forth this year, and trying our best to move the needle in terms of the applications received, because we want to make sure that we have an adequate candidate pool and qualified candidate pool to staff our vacancies. You'll see the events attended. So not only at the school sites, but Bassett Unified School District-wide events, and then LACO as well. In staffing, this is a huge win for our office as well as the district, in that we staffed our vacancies with 36 promotions compared to 20 last year. So we are providing that opportunity for growth within the district, as well as our CSCA members that increased from 207 to 222. And then for the summer employment assignments, you do see that was a decrease. Last year was 202 compared to 151 this year. And that is partnering with the district to ensure all assignments were approved prior to staffing. In addition, we are filling our vacancies, so there are less summer assignments to staff, and then making sure that we're clear on communicating with sites on what assignments are approved to proceed. For classification and compensation, we updated 5 job descriptions, which are listed there. And then in terms of our CSCA salary research progress, we interviewed an additional 8 employees, bringing our total to 77. Summer employment, you see the snapshot there in terms of the trends. And then, like I said, the decrease year over year compared to last year based off of filling vacancies and fiscal oversight. The increase of probationary evaluations year over year directly correlates to permanent vacancies being filled. For staff development, with continuous learning set as a specific goal, we wanted to quantify the trainings attended and received. I wanted to bring your attention to number 5, Personnel Testing Council Southern California. So that is a merit-based employment examination or professional organization. Both the personnel analyst and myself serve as members of this organization. So then we are volunteering our time and getting access to valuable training without having to pay for memberships. So here is the budget. I included the proposed budget versus actual. It was approved by the Personnel Commission on May 16th, 2023. The total budget was increased by $29,408 to be a total of $411,163. We did return $77,211 to the general fund, and this is specific to staff turnover. So with the team not being fully staffed until January 25th, 2024, there would be significant savings on staff costs specifically. The actual operational budget, which you can see, the actuals are higher than what was proposed due to staff development, given that that was one of the goals of the commission. Contracted services cost increases, so we set aside what we think it'll cost, and then we receive the actual quotes, and they are going up year over year. And replacing personnel commissioner and staff technology devices. So we conclude the presentation with the summary of the 14 public meetings held this year, as well as a recap of our personnel commissioners, Board of Education appointee Amadeo Rodriguez, who is our chairperson, CSCA appointee Samuel Brown, who is our vice chairperson, and then the joint appointee Lori Workman, along with their term expiration dates. So Ms. Workman is going to be retiring effective this December, so we are actively working on recruiting for that position. And then a quick summary of the staff who support the Personnel Commission. So thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Board Member Rivera, the test that you do in Spanish, what kind of work is it for?
So it's only
Do you speak English, any English at all, the people, because you could speak it, but maybe you don't test good in English,
Correct. So we partnered with the district and the specific hiring managers. So for Child Nutrition Assistant 1, that's the Director of Child Nutrition Services. If we are giving examinations in Spanish, the understanding is Spanish may be their first language. Will that impact the service and the work direction in the kitchens? For Student Safety Monitor, that was partnering with the principals. And when the student safety monitors became part of the classified service, that was a key conversation that was had with the principals to ensure, do we want English speaking as a priority or opening up to Spanish speaking because our parents and community members speak Spanish?
Well, not all of them, but.
Not all of them, but
Are you gonna start with Mandarin also?
we haven't discussed that at this time, but that's definitely a possibility.
We have a lot of students and parents that might want to work and speak Mandarin, their primary language, not.
That would be in partnership with the district.
Well, thank you for the report.
Yeah, thank you.
I was gonna say the same thing. Thank you for the report. Thank you for promoting the district in the community and us well with the surrounding communities. I mean, you said went from 5 to 9, but we appreciate that. Thank you.
Board Member Pimentel?
Thank you, Director Sanchez, and so sad to see Commissioner working finally. I think she's been there for about 15 years-ish. So definitely commend the service. It's been a pleasure to work with her, my 6 years as a commissioner. Also commend you tracking probationary evaluations. I feel like that's always, I'll say this in the room, a bunch of managers, difficult with evaluations sometimes, so I appreciate that. I had 3 questions. So one of them with, I appreciate the data on how many applications. It seems like it's been going higher this year. Has that translated into, I guess, a quicker turnaround to filling vacancies actually? Or is it just more people applying, but it's still taking the same amount of time to fill a vacancy?
So the shortest amount of time to fill a vacancy is generally 6 to 8 weeks because we make sure that both open applicants outside the district and promotional applicants have plenty of time to know of the vacancy and actually apply. So we post it for no less than 15 working days to accommodate that. And then within the selection process, depending on the needs of the position, you know, if it's just written exam, oral exam, bilingual testing, performance exam if needed, that directly adjusts the timing for the eligibility list. So on the short end, it is 4 to 6 weeks, and then you account for 6 to 8 weeks for onboarding and clearance. That is on the short end. On the long end, like our mechanic position, it could be open for a year to find the right qualified person in the role, which I'm happy to say that we did. And he passed probation.
With the 15 working days, is that prescribed by PC rule or is that just a business practice in your office?
It's prescribed by PC rule.
Interesting, that's a long time. Okay. And then I do appreciate the data with the parentheses on how many eligibility lists have been prepared. Why is that so within the last calendar year, so many eligibility lists?
So specifically, and let's go back to that slide.
I think it's 7.
So the biggest positions that, you know, required multiple eligibility lists were campus monitor and custodian. So number 6 and number 18. The reason specifically for those is that our substitute pool was basically diminished after COVID, so kind of starting from scratch again. In addition, better refining our reasonable assurance procedures to, you know, if a cleared substitute is wanting to return, that we accurately advise them and receive that request to return. And campus monitors specifically, we had long-term assignments that supported school sites last year at Edgewood and Bassett High School, as well as leaves of absence. So if our substitute pool of 7 is already spoken for, and then there's long, like vacations or sick time, we need enough candidates to then backfill when permanent employees are out.
The last question I have is, thank you for putting the actuals with this budget. With, I guess, this new fiscal year's budget, do you anticipate you're still going to be able to provide the same level of service as represented in this report?
So just bringing that up here. So I did come on behalf of the Board of Education to recommend a budget increase because of the negotiated salary increases of staff. So year over year, you know, that budget increase was declined. So we will strive to provide excellent service within our means and following our budget. However, I do see scaling back. So specifically our applicant tracking system, we no longer can afford that because our operational costs are approximately $6,000. And to renew that, it kind of demolishes that budget. In addition, for staff development, that will go down because we don't have money set aside to specifically go to as many trainings as we can. We'll still look to serve on boards to see if we can still get that learning while not specifically paying for a membership for it, but that is an area I do see decreasing. And then lastly, for job fairs. So some of our job fairs are paid. So that would be like Cal Poly Pomona. That would be, that's the one that comes off the top of my head. So we would no longer be able to participate in those because our operational budget is so small that we wouldn't spend money to do that. So those are the areas I see decrease in service.
Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, so with regards to your budget, thank you so much for this presentation. So if you can help me out here
Mhm.
on 3212 down to 3712.
Yes,
Okay, the employee benefits subtotal.
yes.
On the actual, you're saying that it was 83,308.
Mhm.
Help me out, I'm totaling 134,587 in the math. So adding CalPERS 66,976, 15,630.
Oh.
I'm totaling that to be 134,587.
Yes, thank you for calling that out. We only see the actuals by subtotal, not by individual line items. So the employees' benefits are, and you know, the chief business officer can certainly explain better than I can, but my understanding is that the employees' benefits are a direct percentage of salary. So if there's less,
So this 83,000 is not necessarily reflective of the total employees.
correct, I only know the total actual, not the individual line items. So the total of 370, or I'm sorry, 118,889 compared to 83,308. I only have a visibility of that level of detail, not the summary of Social Security, Medicare, and all of those specific line items.
Okay,
I think
it's
what you're saying is the addition of all fringe
the
benefits
addition does not
doesn't.
total
It total to
83,308.
83. So if you look at the addition of all fringe benefits detail, the total would be 100 and you did the math?
134,587.
Okay. So it's not 83, it's 140.
No,
So when you add this 143 with the salaries, then your total amount is not 333, that would be 20, 40, 60, like 60,000 more, so that would be like 390, 393 or
This is off by about-
395,
this would be off by about 40,000 almost.
right?
But anyway, my point, I'm not going to waste the board's time on this. So that's one thing I saw. And to your comment about will you have to cut? It shows here that you gave 77,000 back to the district. And once again, just to clarify, we did approve the additional, what was it, 30,000
Mhm.
back for the 23-24. The 10,000 or 9,000 that you were asking additional for 24-25. That's what was declined. So you are still working with your 23-24 budget. So if you gave 77,000 back to the district,
Mhm.
I'm hoping that you could still find ways, and it shouldn't be too much cutting in your operation costs.
So in comparison, the total personnel budget being 297,151 as actual, I am happy to provide an updated summary. So then we have our employee benefits more accurately added up to the total. In addition, when you think of the director who vacated being paid at the top step compared to the director incoming at the bottom step, that's a huge swing. In addition, the analyst being a management employee, not being staffed until January 2024, that represents the remaining balance. The technician was hired as of October 2023.
Okay, I think this is great and I appreciate the explanation, but again, we're not gonna dwell on this. But I think it would be more, it would be better presented if we had the actuals that totally add up.
Mhm.
Like I said, immediately I could see that 83 and the 213, they add up to 297, but the
In between.
subtotal does not equal. So in order to be fair, but you did give back 77,000, so basically what I'm understanding is that that 77,000 could have been looked at more closely. So, but yes, okay, we're good.
I just wanted to note that the operational costs increasing from 22 to 36. We know that the returning of funds was specific to staff.
Could you clarify when you say salary and benefits of
Mhm.
employees? What employees are you talking about? The salaries and the benefits?
So all of the Personnel Commission staff are full-time employees, so then they have health, dental benefits,
And how many employees you have?
3.
Okay.
And so the specific benefit totals, which I'll work on updating more accurately, are percentages of those salaries. So if someone's gone, then that benefit total would go down because we're not paying for someone who's not there.
Just want to clarify, because you say salary, so here we're thinking, and people that are in the audience or don't know, parents or community, they're gonna think Personnel Commission pays everybody's salary or?
Oh, no,
You know,
just
so
our
I
staff.
just want to clarify, what salary are you talking about and what benefits?
Absolutely, and just to further that point, the staff by object code is personnel director and analyst, personnel commissioners, so there is a monthly stipend in addition to health benefits, and then the personnel technician.
One last question, personnel director and analyst, you have 172,910, so that's income, and you did say that you were short-staffed, and that came in January.
Mhm.
So that is a compilation of everybody's, those 3 people, the 2 analysts and yourself.
So 2310 is 2 people, the director and analyst, and then 2410 is the technician.
Yes, the 172, that's for the 3. Yeah, it says personnel director and analyst
One
too.
check.
Mhm.
That's 2, and then the third, the technician.
Okay, I was reading that you had 2 analysts and the personnel director.
Got it, got it.
Okay, got it. So, yeah, I think it would be better reflected if we could see actuals on these, because like I said, immediately, I knew right off the bat with the first 2, that does not equal 8, this is gonna be more than 83, especially when you have 40,000 right there. But all good.
Thank you.
Thank you for, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to written communications. I lost my my online agenda. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna go on to written communications. Did board members, did you all have an opportunity to read the recommend written communication from LACO regarding our budget?
Yes.
You did? Cool. Make that note. And we move on to the fun one. Student board representative report. The floor is yours.
Yes.
So school announcements, Band Week teachers and scholars had a great first week back to school. Our back to school night was a big success and families and students super excited to meet their teachers and begin the school year. Our devices have been updated and all instructional materials have been distributed to the students. Our Band Week scholars and teachers have been working on making connections, activities, and learning new things. We've implemented a new attendance incentive and are working hard to improve attendance this school year. There are great things happening at Van Wyck, and our Van Wyck scholars are being prepared for college and career. And then Don Julian we've had a great first 2 weeks of school. Our enrollment numbers continue to grow as we currently have 550 students on campus. Our first annual ice cream social meet your teacher took place on Friday, August 9th on campus. We had over 300 parents and family members attend. We also held back to school night on Thursday, August 15th and had another great turnout. Our Lions are working hard on their iReady diagnostic #1 for the start of the new school year. We have tryouts this week for after-school volleyball and flag football teams and looking forward to a great year. Edgewood Academy, it had a great start to the 24 to 25 school year at Edgewood Academy. Our Brave Knights returned eager to learn and parents took advantage of the first day photo op to capture the special moment. Teachers have begun to build rapport for students and establish routines and expectations. We're excited to share our goals for improving attendance, academics, and parent involvement. This week, there's a perfect attendance challenge for those students who are present and on time will receive a popsicle at the end of the week. In the first 2 weeks, we hosted our back to school night along with a coffee with the principal and English learner advisory committee meeting. Last but not least, our students are preparing for their iReady diagnostic. This will help determine the learning targets for students this school year. There are many things to be excited about for the 2024-25 school year at Edgewood. It is a great day to be a brave knight. Sunkist, we have started our 24-25 school year off strong. Our classes are settled and we are getting ready for a successful back to school night this Wednesday, starting at 5:30 p.m. Our Think Together program has started off with full enrollment across all grade levels. We're looking forward to starting our folklorico program next month. And a special thank you to Ms. Espinoza, who continues to provide a fantastic program. Thank you to our nutritional services who continue to feature the Fresh Produce of the Week program. Our Tigers have been asking about this and are so excited to try some of the new fruits and veggies. Porch Middle School, our students returned to school and our students' return to the school was marked by an exceptional and heartfelt welcome from our school community and local partners. In a celebration that emphasized our commitment to academic excellence, students are greeted with a red carpet arrival and teachers donning graduation gowns set an inspiring tone for the school year ahead. This impressive display was not only highlighted the importance we place on educational success, but also fostered a sense of excitement and motivation among students as they embarked a new academic year. Last week, Trojans successfully launched our Positive Behavioral Intervention and Supports program, introducing Trojan expectations, being safe, respectful, and responsible. This initiative sets a strong foundation for student behavior and school culture. Our back to school night was well attended, providing families the opportunity to meet teachers and learn about class expectations, further strengthening our homeschool partnership. This week, students will begin their iReady diagnostic assessments, which will help identify their academic strengths and areas for growth. Additionally, we are excited to introduce social emotional learning, Wellness Fridays. Each Friday, students will engage in SEL lessons focused on targeted areas to support their emotional and social development. We look forward to these positive impacts and initiatives we will set for our school community and culture. We look forward to an amazing school year. Bassett High School had a great opening of the 24-25 school year. Olympians are welcomed in by our band and cheer squad and staff members. It was a great day to begin the school year. High school life is underway with sports activities and academic in full swing. Girls volleyball is underway and our boys competed in their first varsity football game. Girls tennis begins in September and cross country boys and girls will compete in the Cool Breeze Invitational at the Pomona Fairplex on Saturday, August 31st. Thank you to Ms. Topshin for supporting ASB and BHS clubs during Rush Day on August 23rd. Students met staff and other students during lunch to see what is being offered for clubs, sports, and activities. Thank you to Mr. Gutierrez and band for putting on a spectacular performance during our first varsity football game this week. The energy and enthusiasm reverberated through the stadium. Several members from Torch Middle School participated with the high school. Band is also practicing daily for their upcoming performances this year. We have started this year by reclassifying 5 students. Our Mount Sac dual enrollment classes start next week, and we're offering 3 new courses this year and look forward to having more students leave BHS with college credits. It's going to be a great year for our Olympian family. Nova Vista High School has strongly begun with a full staff, including returning Ms. Rachel Flores and 2 additional team members, Mr. Ignacio de Luna and Ms. Maria Solis. Students are in the midst of their iReady testing, which gives Nova Vista a baseline for our students' academic strengths and challenges with direct instruction. WASC meetings continue, involving the entire staff and ensuring that we celebrate our accomplishments. We'll have a site visit in November. As a part of our CTE programs, students are working on their OSHA 10 certification and learning about workplace safety in the workplace. September 5th, they'll take us walking field trip to Bassett Adult School to learn more about what they have to offer and what they will be learning. We're bringing dual enrollment to Nueva Vista. Our counselor, Diana Torres, is working with our students with the enrollment process. Our first semester course will be Counseling 51, introducing students to navigating the online college platform and exploring career goals. We will have our first coffee with the principal on Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. This Thursday, we'll have back to school night at 5 p.m. And all are invited to visit our school site. It will be a great year at Nova Vista.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's great. Okay, so we do not have any public comments, neither for closed session or open session. So if it closes the board, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to move on to superintendent comments. Dr. Alvarez?
Thank you, Board President, members of the board. A few things, just want to first welcome everyone back to the 24-25 school year. It's a new school year. A lot of great things happening. We kind of have our roadmap moving forward for the next 3 years with the board's approved strategic plan. So I'm looking forward to working with the board and working with our team and all our employees, our students, our community on making sure that that strategic plan maintains the primary focus of how we drive the school district and how we move forward for the next 3 years. I want to thank, actually, I first want to thank Dr. Harrison and her team for putting together the Welcome Back Breakfast. It was a great success. I want to thank you. It's a lot of work that I've been into it. I know her team, everyone else. I mean, I can go on a long list of people that helped. So I just want to thank her for that. We did change it up a little bit, but I think it really benefited our employees who really wanted to get back to their sites. We have an opportunity to celebrate coming back, have some time together, have some breakfast, but I think it went very well and everyone was pleased. And just happy to see everyone back with that. I've had an opportunity to attend most of the back to school nights. We have one tomorrow with Sunkist and Thursday with Nueva Vista and Bassett High School. The first day of school, we're in our third week of school. I think the first day went off really well. We didn't really have a lot of it. I know week 3, yes, already. There really wasn't any major hiccups. We really worked hard with the team, with the school administrators, their office staff, IT. Everyone worked hard to make sure we had everything ready at the school sites. Obviously, there's always going to be a few glitches, but we just learn from that as we prepare for next year. So just a great beginning to the first day of the school year and the school year as a whole. We have been making our rounds around school sites, visiting, just checking in with everyone. Let me see here. The Bassett High School football game played last week on Thursday. Unfortunately, they were not victorious, but they played a great game. I did have a chance to stop by. It was on a Thursday. And just for those who don't know who are wondering why the game was on Thursday, CIF is struggling with referees and umpires. Therefore, they're having to switch games. And so last year, a majority of our games were on Fridays. This year, more of them are going to be on Thursdays, and they're kind of switching back and forth between, schools and that. So you might wonder why we're having more games Thursday. It's nothing to do with us. It has to do with CIF officials being available.
So sign up to be a referee.
Yes, I signed up. I am still really excited at the progress of our swimming pool. If you hadn't had a chance, go online and take a look. It's come a long way. The floor has been poured concrete. The walls have been poured. The lights are in. You can actually really start seeing it come to shape. Yesterday I was there and they're actually putting the lines that when you're swimming, you can see the lines. Yeah, so we're hoping by next week, actually, we'll start laying the tile on the ground. The building structure is almost up to the top, so they'll be covering that up. So it's coming along really nicely. Schedules keeping to it. Obviously some hiccups, but they haven't been anything that we can't overcome that's really created any kind of delay. So, if you see up there, it's just coming along great. And so we're just looking forward to that project completion. It's it's a big deal. It's a milestone for the district, so we're looking forward to that. Let me see. I want to just welcome Sarai as our student board member, ASB president. So welcome, and we look forward to working with you during the school year. I did have an opportunity to meet with her and Cassandra, Sam, earlier last week. And so just look forward to continue working together. Let's see, I have here that, earlier this week, well, we're on Tuesday, yesterday, I had an opportunity to meet with La Puente City Council members. I'm interested in having a joint meeting with the Board of Education, really talk about some potential joint use agreement. We have a template of a joint use agreement with City of La Puente. We haven't specified sites and what within each site. So they reached out, had a meeting specifically on looking at maybe identifying specific locations, fields that we may be interested in working with them. Providing some extracurricular activities for our students so they don't have to go across town or to another area to participate in, whether it be a soccer league or baseball, t-ball, or anything like that. Just want to let you know, you'll be hearing from me about that joint agreement. At the joint meeting, I heard it happened, was it 2015, Chantal? You remember? About 2015. So thank you, Board Member Flores, for kind of working on that so we can get that and work with everyone's schedule. And I think it's just a great opportunity. I know they're running out of facilities over where they're at, and I think we would want to, as part of our strategic plan and making our facilities available to the community, that kind of ties right into it. So I'll be reaching out to everyone about potential dates. And then just lastly, I do look forward to the next blood donation Red Cross at Bassett High School. I've gone, I think I went last time 3 times last year. And so I do look forward to the first one for the school year, so I can go over there and donate some blood. And ever since then, I just keep getting messages about, "Hey, we're low, we need blood. So, but I wait to do it at the high school. So with that, thank you, everyone. And I look forward to a great school year working with everyone. Thank you.
Board Member Barajas?
Yeah. I did miss the last board meeting. I do apologize, but I did have COVID-like symptoms and I didn't want to get anyone sick around here. That is standing on it. So, I decided to just stay home. That being said, Dr. Harrison, I missed probably an introduction to have for you or whatnot. That being said, welcome to Bassett.
Thank you.
I hope everything's been going smoothly. I hope everybody's giving you a warm
Yeah.
welcome.
Absolutely.
And if you need support, I'm pretty sure you know that the board is here to support. We have a wonderful staff, wonderful superintendent. So we're here to help out, okay? Just come ask for help and we're here to help. Ms. Aramillo, welcome. So I guess this is her first meeting,
Yes.
right? Okay, then so I was gonna say the same thing, like, oh man, I missed that one too. Welcome. Same thing to you. If you need a letter of recommendation in the future, let us know. I'm pretty sure any board member and the superintendent or the assistant soup will provide you one, okay? So make sure you stay in touch with us, ask for support whenever you need it. Because I know sometimes when we're young, we don't ask folks for that much support, even though we're here to help all the time, okay? So welcome, ASB president, right? All right, congratulations on that victory. Back to school, I did attend back to school night at Don Julian and Van Wig. I got to give a shout out to one of our teachers, Ms. Lopez at Don Julian. She shared with me that she's the PTA president this school year, which I think it's cool and interesting. Why? Because in my experience, a lot of the times it's a parent that's the PTA president, but to see that teachers kind of carrying it on, that's awesome. Maybe I missed other teachers that have actually been presidents. If you have, thank you for being presidents of PTA. I do know that several teachers in the past have been treasurer, secretary. How do I know that? Because while I was part of my PTA. I think you guys
No, we're just waiting.
When I was part of my PTA, we did have Ms. Rose at Edgewood, who was our treasurer, if I remember correctly. So I want to send her a shout out. Thank you for supporting with that. Yes, I wanted to also touch on the pool. It is exciting to see the progress in the pool. It is also exciting to see the facilities that are being that we're creating at the high school. I'm excited to see what else we end up creating at the high school. I know that a lot of things are coming, so I'm excited to see that. And more importantly, I am looking forward to a very exciting school year.
Thank you, Board Member Barajas. Board Member Stanzioni?
I want to thank Mr. Barajas for his thoughtfulness and not coming when he was feeling ill. But mostly, I'm glad you're back and you're feeling better
Thank you.
because you bring such light to us. I'd like to welcome Sari, the beautiful name. You're going to bring so much to this, and I'll address that in a minute. It was wonderful hearing that DJ had 550 kids. And if we could get a list of, make sure he knows. If we could get a list of all the students, what we have is enrollment, especially in the upper grades, because we usually see that exodus when they hit middle school and high school. But good to see healthy numbers at DJ. The students' numbers. I'd also like to establish a revisit, and perhaps I should wait until Dr. Alvarez is back, that we revisit protocol or reestablish protocol for the immediate reporting to the superintendent of any and all calls of law enforcement or other emergency responders to him immediately. It's ludicrous that we as just people out in the community hear things on social media before he knows about them. And it's beginning to make me a little crazy because I see things on social media, be it Citizens app or on Facebook. And when I call to see the situation, he's not been notified. And I don't know if there's a certain protocol in place, but I'd like to see that. Also to see, when you look at the postings on the stolen equipment from the high school, that had not been reported apparently, when it happened initially, and seeing that and see that there's requests begging for equipment, begging for money, when we probably could have given them the money or found the money somewhere within our school, it makes us look bad. It's bad PR. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to establish a revisit protocol that alerts the superintendent of these things prior to, just as soon as possible. He needs to know. He's our guy. And again, I'd like to suggest that we open a discussion about reestablishing on the agenda our labor partners, affording them time listed on the agenda, whether they show up or not, but for comment time. It's always been a sign of respect and a sign of, well, it is a sign of partnership. But to add to that, I'd like to add our student leader's voice. Give her a slot on the agenda for her to voice the comments and concerns and dreams and wishes of those that she represents. We represent our voters. She represents her voters. And I'd love to hear that voice put forth here in a public forum and her comments, and not just be relegated to reading events. I think it's such a waste of incredible talent. As we saw, Mr. Simenthal was a sitting board member as a student. It was wonderful to hear his voice speak and share and ask things, because they're who we're here for. And to the students, I'd just like to say one thing a couple of things to the students this year. To the students this year, I hope that you learn in a language-rich environment where vocabulary is key. I hope that you read the classics, because they're classics for a reason. I hope that you see that math is everywhere, even in math, even in art. I hope you delight in phenomena and discovery this year. I hope you use your imaginations. And I hope you enjoy your school year as your best year yet at Bassett Unified. That's it.
Thank you, board member Stanton, board member Rivera.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome. I hope you have a good year. I know you will. A great year here with us and there and at your school. You're gonna have a lot of fun. Senior year is the greatest part of the high school experience. I know my kids had a great time. So with that said, the seniors are very excited about being able to see if they could use the pool before they graduate. And I told them it's gonna be done in January. Could we use it? Will we be able to use it? And I said, yeah, you'll be able to use it. It'll be done before you graduate. I said, if not in your graduation, one day before, we'll let you jump in there.
Senior activity.
No
So
insurance.
they're excited about the pool being done. They're really looking forward to the new pool for them. And then the new the eighth graders that will be coming in, ninth graders are very excited that they're gonna come in to a new pool, a school with a new pool. So they're very excited. And I wanna welcome everybody back. And I wanted to ask you a question. I know the football players play on Thursday. Is there any accommodations done for them, since they have to return to school the next day and their homeworks may be not completed because they're out on the football field?
And that,
You know, is there anything being done to help them?
that would be
We don't need them
something
getting behind either.
I think, and Dr. Harrison may address it with her secondary experience, but I think that's something the site works out with their individual teachers, but I'll kind of refer that to Dr. Harrison.
Yeah, we, our teachers are really, they're flexible and they adjust. So anytime if there is an issue with the extra activities, whether it be sports or any other, the band, I mean, the hours and hours they spend, the students are adept at communicating with the staff. And so I know that they give concessions for that. And if not, if there's ever a sticking point, a lot of times the students will voice their concern, and then we can kind of work through it with the counseling team. So we've always had a lot of, it's always been very adaptable at the high school level. Like high school teachers are kind of, it comes with the par for the course with the students being so involved. So the high school staff gets really good at
Yeah, 'cause I've been
balancing
hearing
things
it
for
from
the
the
kids.
football players, and I'm sorry, I did forget the
Yeah,
band because they're part of it. And the cheerleaders, that I have been hearing from them that it's very hard. It was very hard for them to return back on Friday
Yeah.
because they were tired. Half of the homework was not completed. They were worried that they were gonna get, because a lot of them are taking honors
Right.
or AP, so they were worried that they might, test scores or their scores might go down because they haven't finished their homework.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that they're not penalized because the games are on Thursdays
Yeah.
instead of Fridays.
And oftentimes they have to leave class a little early because they have to catch the
Yes.
bus, so sometimes they'll miss an
Yes,
academic class
exactly.
period. I'll
So-
follow up with Dr. Maldonado and the counseling team there. Actually, Gamel is gonna see the counseling team tomorrow, so we'll check in and just see how
Okay.
how it's going.
Well, thank you. Thank you on that. And well, welcome back and let's have a great new school year. 2020, 2024, 2025, which is almost over.
Yeah, right, it is. Thank you, Board Member Rivera, Board Member Simonton.
Thank you, Madam President, and then welcome to our Board of Education, our new student board member, Miss Hamidu. Yes, I want to say it's an honor to have the student board member on our board. Some school boards don't, even if they are unified or high school districts, so just always being mindful that yes, you are here with your report, but whatever, there is an opportunity for you to, advocate for your student leaders, definitely do it. If it's, if you're also hearing this issue that Mr. Rivera brought up with our student athletes, definitely that's something that you could bring to the table. You are our eyes and ears at the campus in a way that none of us could ever be. So just letting you know that you have that immense opportunity and privilege and power to just, represent your students here. So welcome, no pressure. But you're gonna do great, you're gonna do great. Of course, welcome everyone else to our new school year. Great to be at the back to school breakfast, to see everyone in the district being able to come together. It's nice. Last year was nice also, hop to every different campus, but it was nice to have everyone just in one spot. Great to see the band. I think also the 8th graders were also participating in that event as well. I'm trying to make my rounds to the back to school nights, but I'm happy to hear from my colleagues that things are going successfully from the weeklies, from updates with teachers and admin. So that's always great to hear. I also want to do a quick shout out to Student Nutrition Services Director Esteo for the acknowledgement that they got, I think, in a newsletter recently, the California statewide newsletter for our salad bars. So it's just incredible to see that, Bassett is still getting recognized in the different ways that they can. I had the opportunity to try their breakfast chilaquiles menu already 4 weeks ago. That's crazy how time goes by so quickly. And that was great. So just trying to commend other folks who aren't usually in the board meeting space. Obviously, we hear from Ed Services and HR and, everyone all the time. But for those other operational departments who we don't get to see a lot, definitely want to shout them out. Also good to read LACO's budget approval letter to us that was in the written communications. Definitely interesting to read their advisal on the structural deficit. Hopefully that's something that should be addressed, as we move on with the school year. That's something obviously of great concern to us. But I'm looking forward to the start of a great year. No longer within my 10 years of graduation, I'm now over my 10-year mark, so I'm devastated, completely devastated. But as an alum, I do want to just wish so much good spirit to all of our students, not only at the high school, but our middle schools, our elementary schools, adult school, our child development programs, everyone here at Bassett, as our colleagues said, to have a great year. Wishing nothing but great affirmations to them all. In terms of closing my report, I did have 2 questions to the superintendent, if I may, Madam President. They're relative to the consent calendar. I don't feel so compelled to pull them, but I just want to ask for clarification. So the first one is on a consent calendar under educational services item 6. This is the Healthy Kids survey item. I am mindful that I believe those 2 or 3 board meetings ago, we did get an indicators report back from, I believe it was Mr. Bike on the survey results for this last year. And I know it was quite concerning and alarming to see an apathy, I'll just say, from the students in terms of student peer-to-peer relationships, respectability amongst teachers and students. So I'm just wondering, what has been your administration's plan now that we're starting the new school year? To, I guess, address those concerns. So one thing that I would hate for our students to go into a new school year and have their last year's concerns just shelved. So I really want to make sure that we are intentionally addressing those concerns.
Yes, so one of the things that we've decided to do for this school year is take a little different approach to that survey. In the past year, right, the survey was taken, we've got the data, we shared it at a board meeting, and then on with the school year. So what we did differently this school year is actually as part of a kickoff to our symposium, our leadership symposium, we actually presented the data to our entire leadership team. broken down by school site. They actually had to analyze a lot of the information in there, kind of start creating like an action plan on a couple of the key areas. And then they were responsible for taking that back to their leadership team at their sites and the staff at their site, and not just certificated, because classified plays a role in that as well, on creating a plan on how to move forward throughout the rest of the school year to address those different areas of concern of how students feel and the parents feel about their school, or whether or not they feel welcomed or comfortable, or if they're being heard. And so that's kind of the initial kickoff. Some of our goal as we go through the school years, we would like to set some benchmarks in the sense of a couple of times, maybe 3 times throughout the year, a check-in quick survey on some of the key areas that we were really concerned about, and push that out to the staff, to the students and parents to see if there's any change in the survey results. Obviously, we're looking for more of a positive result and more parents and students feeling comfortable and welcoming at our school sites, among the other areas of concern with how responses were provided.
Thank you very much. That, again, don't want it to be for our students are just doing the survey that's required and then we're not actually doing any action. So I thought I'd bring up now since we're approving next year's survey, so we can at least be mindful of that for next year. Second question was, I just want to make sure as we fulfill our fiduciary responsibility to our community. This is business item number 1. This is the San Gabriel Valley Water Company's item. I want to say it was 2 board meetings ago or maybe even last, when we got the presentation from the Cummings firm relative to the aquatic center, that they were going to de-scope a water line aspect of it. So I guess the fee would be adjusted. I guess, can you explain a little bit more as to how this reconciles that with I think Cummings no longer doing the work, or if it's another subcontractor with Cummings who isn't doing work? I just want to make sure we're not paying more than we need to per se.
Right, yes. So when
Business one.
Cumming is the construction management company that's overseeing the project. So Plyco, the board approved Plyco as the
Thank you.
general contractor to build the pool. And within that bid that they submitted and were awarded was this particular scope of work, which was the water line over on, Ardilla.
Yes.
And then as the project moved forward, we got word from the water company saying, no, they have to do that scope of work, that particular area. Because it's within their it's not on district property lines.
Their turn.
And then they're the ones who actually made us run the water from Ardilla instead of Puente, where there was a closer water line. So anyway, as part of that, they had to do this particular scope of work. You saw there on here, there's an agenda item for about $195,000 total for the work. And so what happens now is Plyco has to, what we call de-scope that.
Thank you.
From their bid to us. Unfortunately, it's not gonna match dollar for dollar. Because what the water company is gonna charge is not the same as what Plyco is gonna charge. So remember, Plyco submitted a bid, the best offer.
Yeah.
And so part of the process now is the district and Cumming negotiating what that de-scope amount is. It's not gonna be $195,000 less. And so that's where the negotiation comes in. So it's reasonable, but like I said, the water company is just gonna, they're just gonna charge us a lot, yeah. So that's where we are in a disadvantage on the de-scope part, and obviously we can't negotiate with the water company, say, no, that's too much, we're gonna have someone else do it.
Yeah, there's. Thank you very much for that. I guess in closing, I just want to, in the spirit of our strategic plan that we recently adopted, amazing plan, obviously we spent a lot of time on it. In terms of accountability and timelines, I do want to see if maybe within the next couple months we could prepare, if it's a governance calendar or actually identifying when we want the actual deadlines of accountability. I think we discussed it in one of our conversations saying, in about January, we should get a report, and about this time, but I don't think we've actually codified that into the component of the plan.
I think it was part of, we had by dates when these things needed to be done.
So if I may, according to the strategic plan, an update to the board has to present it at a board meeting every 3 or 4 months.
I see.
So that was part of where I could only do up until December because that's when we have our board meeting scheduled. And then once the board adopts a new calendar for the following year, we can schedule them. I can pick specific months, but the date will depend on that part. And then at the end of the year, beginning of school year is when, per the strategic plan is, we're supposed to present to the board and the community an update on how the year went as far as implementation of the strategic plan.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Okay, so again, welcome back, everybody. I'm so excited. And as Erin mentioned, we have a strategic plan. I'm looking forward to, every time I hear something, I think, okay, which one of the pillars does it fall in? So you're gonna hear me a lot say that. I did get to, thank you, Dr. Harrison, I did, and her team. I did get to attend the Welcome Back Breakfast. It was so nice. I mean, Watanabe Hall was packed. It was full. So it is nice, I guess, for each one to have their own individuals, but that makes like when you're running around, but it was so nice to see everybody there. Everybody was enjoying themselves. I've got to make it over to Bronco's Grill. We went out for breakfast the other day and I said, oh, I'll try this Bronco's Grill. No, I'm not ready for it. But it was good. It was good. The food was great. Everything looked great. Thank you so much to you and your team again. And thank you everyone for making back to school night so successful. I know there are still some that will be happening this week. For myself, last week was the first week of semester and it was crazy. Went into this weekend and it's like, I took a day off. Welcome, Ms. Jaramillo, to the board. And looking forward to your information and yeah, it would be good for you to have a voice and a report of your own on there. I think I kind of really like that. I had an opportunity to meet with Dr. Harrison and excited for the ideas, love, things that are happening and any support that we can give you, just, let us know. As far as the back to school night, I did get to go to DJ. And I got caught up in conversations there and got to talk to some of the teachers. And it was really nice. It was really nice, very positive, responses and things like that, it was good, very good. As you all know, I am totally excited for this aquatic center. So it's all to hear that it's going to be done in,
More like
January, February.
February.
Don't push me further back. And all our other projects, huh?
Nothing like that, now go further.
No, better not go further. No. I'll give you February, but yes, and all the ongoing projects that we have, I see all the marquees are done, so that's exciting. The HVACs, so hopefully that's all going through easy. So I'm looking forward to the new projects. So hopefully we'll be around. Anyway, but in any case, thank you, everybody. This is going to be a great year. I'm very excited for this. And I'm very excited to be working with my fellow colleagues here. This will be a great year.
It is gonna be a great
At
year.
least-
Even Mother Earth gave us a great start with an earthquake.
She was shaking.
It's gonna be a great year.
It's gonna be a bumping and jumping year, and we started with that
More of a
first bump and
rolling
jump.
kind of.
We're gonna roll through it.
Yeah, true that. So thank you, Mother Earth. Yes. And I want to say a special personal shout out to my hubby. Today is our 36th year anniversary. So I'm very I'm not here. So you have my commitment here, okay? So yes, I'm very excited for that. Thank you, everybody. And with that,
I'm sorry, one thing. I'm sorry, I had to step out for a second. I apologize. I guess some information was asked about enrollment. 2,863.
No, per site, just in the future, not
Okay,
now.
okay. We'll send it out.
We have that many for the total. school
District wide, yeah, but I'll send out something on the weekly with more.
Yeah,
breakdown.
not
Yes,
now.
okay.
okay. Cool. And with that concludes, is there anyone else? Ms. Jaramillo, do you have anything you'd like to say? Not this one? No, don't let me put you on the spot.
You know, I think she should have her comments when her student.
Yes.
I agree.
That's the purpose of that, obviously, is
Yeah.
reporting for the school sites, but that's the segue into as an individual representing the student body.
Exactly.
So, yes, looking forward to that. And with that, if there's no other questions, let's move into closed session. Can I get a motion to move into closed session?
So
Motion by Board Member Stanzioni, seconded by Board Member Rivera. Roll call.
Aye.
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 All right, we'll move into closed session at 7:02.
Yeah.
To another. We are reconvening to open session at 8:29. Board Member Rivera, can we have a report of action taken in closed session?
There is no report, there's no action taken, closed session.
Cool. Thank you. So we'll move on to, this written communications, we already did that. Okay, so we'll go to discussion action items, approval of resolutions. Okay, we have. They're all kind of varying things, and I don't want to go out of order. Can I get a motion to approve resolution 1-25 National Hispanic Heritage Month? So motion by board member Cimental, second by board member Stanzioni. Roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, the next one, resolution 2-25 board compensation for missed meetings. Can I get a motion to approve?
Moved.
Seconded.
Motion by board member Rivera, seconded by board member Stanzioni. Roll call?
Can I ask a question to Dr. Alvarez? Because my name is tied on it. Am I supposed to abstain?
You don't, I mean, you don't think you have to.
I'll just abstain though.
Yeah.
I'll just do it.
It's
I'll abstain.
You don't have to,
You're not
but.
gonna
I'll
vote.
abstain.
Maybe you need your.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, aye. Okay, I'm sorry, who did that one? That was.
Rivera and Stanzioni.
225.
Stanzioni.
You're at 325.
Okay, so resolution 3-25, 25, support of Senate Bill 1315,
So,
Seconded.
moved by board member Cimental, seconded by board member Barajas. Roll call?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Resolution 7-25, opposition of Assembly Bill 2088.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion by board member Cimental, seconded by board member Stanzioni. Roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Board representative to Los Angeles County School Trustees Association, LOCSTA for the 24-25 school year. Do any of you?
Do we nominate?
We nominate, yes.
I'd like to nominate Aaron Sementhal.
I'd like to second that one.
I would happily accept.
Okay. Did you think otherwise? Okay, so board member Cimental, you are now the representative. Oh, roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. Declaration of need for fully qualified educators. Any motion?
I move.
Second.
Motion by board member Barajas, seconded by board member Rivera.
Aye.
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 Aye. The second amendment to the superintendent's contract, section 1, term. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Motion by board member Rivera, seconded by board member Barajas.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Bassett High School 60th year anniversary commemoration. Do you want to discuss this first or you just, okay? So board member Cimental, this was your item, so would you like to speak?
Yes, over the summer, I think we saw something really good at Don Julian with a community initiated event. I think it'd be nice to signal, at least on the board level, that we highly encourage another type of similar community event at the high school in celebration of its 60th anniversary. When it was held 10 years ago for the 50th, for the Golden Jubilee, I think that was in collaboration with the site admin, the Alumni Association, other folks in the community. So I just thought it would be good, since we're in a year advance from when it would be the 60th, to at least signal that the board wants to see something, however we could offer it, but at least have that out there in the community, that there should be something next summer. And I guess just having that conversation going. So rather than thought like, oh, it's summer in a month or 2 weeks from now, we should probably do something. We're starting it at least way now and ahead, that If it's direction to the site administrative team at the high school to, network with the alumni association, if it's just an invite to the alumni association, whatever they may have or may not have planned, they could bring it to us. But just at least, again, just signaling that we want to see something or encourage something.
Does anybody else have anything to say?
I like the idea of encouraging. The alumni association is quite limited though. So we want to possibly put some more invites out there over social media in different areas. We do have some alumni that have become quite successful in their own right. I can think of one who she wrote and put out a movie, a graduate of 71, I believe, 70 or 71. We have a lot of alumni like that we need to tap into. And I think that might help this.
1965.
Okay, this is great, and I do love the idea. One, as I said, most everything that I do now, I go back to our pillars. So this would build community, and I really, really do like that. I would like to see if we could be more inclusive in that Bassett was founded in 1898, and I've learned from Board Member Rivera that there was a centennial that was done, and it was great. So, but Bassett became unified in 1965. So therefore, the 60th anniversary doesn't just lend to the high school, but rather all our campuses, because they're all part of the unified school district. So when I say I'd like it to be inclusive, the other thing is, as a board, I don't know, maybe we could, I want this to happen, don't get me wrong, I want this to happen, but not necessarily at the direction of the board, because maybe the campus, what does the campus want to do? And that could be they've got their hands full with things and feeling like, how long have I wanted to prepare an academy? Okay. But anyway, my point is it's great and I love it. I do hope something comes to fruition, but I think that really, I would like to see it come from the camp or from the campuses to the board. Hey, we'd like to do this, whatever not. And as far as having them build it and present it to us, not us saying, hey, we want you to do a 60th anniversary. So my 2 points are, one, I would like to be inclusive to encompass all. And even though we did get the 60th because the high school, we became unified school district. And we're celebrating that 60th. But that's all our campus became part of the unified. Otherwise, then we're celebrating each campus individually.
Which is kind of nice because we didn't have this high school campus when I was a child. It was an open field with a little greenhouse on it. And this was a big deal when we pulled our kids back from Arroyo High School. And this is significant that this is 60 years. Van Wyck is older, Flanner is older, and sadly, Little Bassett is gone. But I think it's highly significant that we celebrate each site for what it is, because when we brought our high schoolers back, it was a big deal. The girl that lived behind me got to come back to her own home school district. And our graduates are significant. And I think we need to keep it simple. Celebrate the unified school district on the unified school district's birthday of becoming unified, but celebrate the high school for the high school because they need something. For too long, it's kind of been the place that people don't want to go to.
But
Let's
that's what
make
I'm
it,
saying, in 1965, that's when the high school.
I
we
know,
got the high school
but when do we become unified?
in 1965, because we were Bassett School District.
We were just
because
Bassett
we
School
were
District.
K-8.
Unified school districts include high school, right, so without a.
So it
Okay.
wasn't
K.
until.
So we would
high
be
school came.
celebrating the unification of all schools, but I think
Yes.
we really need to highlight the high school because
And we could
there
have.
was
the
none there.
We could have like your big, well, again, it's not for the board to plan. I think this is for the campuses to
Yes.
plan. And I don't want
agree,
them
but
to
we
build.
support them.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
But then what
definitely.
here's a question. They are really busy doing what they do as educators, and support staff and everything else. When are they gonna find the time to do this? That's the hard thing.
but that's something they should decide.
They-
Agreed, no, I
The
totally agree.
principal should
We are-
decide, we shouldn't dictate.
Well, I don't think it should be the principal, I think it should be the collaborative.
Or them, I'm saying the
Parents,
school
students,
site, the
and
school
school
site, the
site.
parents and the should decide what they wanna
And we
do.
are supporting.
Not us, not the board dictating,
support-
what to do.
We've never
For
suggested
them to
that.
do it, no, I agree
Yeah.
with you, and yes, it's a big celebration, I agree with you, that it shouldn't be dictated to them what to do.
For
that
the
we
reason that
support
you're
them
saying.
and we'll
They're
be
so
there.
busy.
They're so busy,
But let them decide how big they want it and what is it that they want.
which is good to give them
With the
enough time ahead
ASB,
of
we
time.
give the parent, them, their PTA, ASB, alumni, all of them could get
Everybody.
involved, everybody.
So question is, and I love the idea because I love celebrations. I do. So can we give the direction, Dr. Alvarez, can you speak with the high school administration and see, were they thinking of doing this? What is their plan for this? And then just bring it back and say, how can, bring it back to us, have them tell you how we can support them in their, like I said, I do want to see something, but I really would not
We don't
want to see
them think
direction
we're-
to come from us.
But take
We
it
make
to,
them.
take it to all the parent groups, because we have all the different parent groups. Take it to every single person and see what they want.
But that's up to the high school to do that in their meetings and.
Obviously, and I'll go back to our
ASB.
strategic plan, you know,
ASB for
wanting to
sure.
recognize the great things happening in the district. I think this is a perfect opportunity. Obviously, when the time comes of it would be probably beginning summer of this coming summer, working with the site, you know, for something like this to really be successful, we need more than just staff to be involved. We want some alumni, if we can get references of alumni that have been, I don't want to say successful, because everyone's successful in their way, but have really made a name for themselves out there, whether it be an athlete. I know there's a reporter I spoke to not too long ago.
We have athletes.
And so, you know, those kind of people to bring in. And the biggest part of the conversation will come around funding. So how are we gonna pay for this? Are we gonna accept donations? Are we gonna be limited from who we're willing to accept donations from? So those are the things that I can work through and come back to the board. I think it is important, and all of you were talking, I think obviously we do need to celebrate Bassett High School for a myriad of reasons, but also incorporate the rest of the district and maybe have each school site be there as through a presentation promoting each individual school site as well.
Exactly.
Obviously honoring the high school 60 years there, but taking an opportunity to promote our other schools and the district as a whole. I think this is the perfect opportunity to do that. And so I appreciate that in the conversation. I'd like to go back to the site administrators, and we've had a brief discussion about it, but more of a formal plan of how we move forward. Once again, with input and collaboration from former alumni and community who want to be involved in it. And how big do we want it? Do we want a whole carnival fair? You know, do we want booth? Or do we want something more associated with, you know, food vendors, presentations throughout the day from different school sites, guest speakers? Because we also want to make sure we do it where it's engaging, where community wants to come, even though it may not be, well, I know they're recognizing Bassett High School, but they're also having all these other things. And it's a way to draw them in to be part of the activity as well.
So I have here Bassett High School opened in September of 1965. A second stage of the high school was completed in 1970, and a community swimming pool was added in 1971. So yes, the big flagship, the big hoorah can be at the high school. But again, I'm just saying, can it come from the administrators? And yes, have the other campuses represented there, but your big to-do is going to be at the high school. The whole thing will be, and I concur with you that the car show, as it was very successful and it was very good, and it did build community. It was great to hear community coming and saying, hey, I went to school here. I live right behind, you know, there and whatever not. And I think it'll be a lot of fun for them to really seek out alumni and have them come and celebrate. Yeah, so.
We'll be able to show off our swimming pool, some of our other facilities.
I want to just appreciate the back and forth on this, because again, I agree, I don't want this to be a dictation from the board, but at least have that open invitation. Especially because at least, not since the 2 years I've been on the board, but just being a member of the community. A lot of folks are saying, it'd be nice if we did this, did that, but it never actually coming to fruition. So I really just looked at this as being a vehicle to inspire that conversation. But again, I was in no way trying to say exactly what Dr. Alvarez was mentioning with the examples of we're gonna expect a carnival and boots and this
What
and
is it
that.
they want?
Yeah, I was not trying to itemize exactly a playbook for it, but at least to say, someone to then, say, let's have something, so.
I think we're gonna. come
Let's
up with
prefer
this and
opportunity,
say, here's
you
a
know,
play-
like,
here-
Right,
here's a
playbook,
plan.
here's a Bible of what you need to do, but
No.
I think it'd be great to at least tell the site and then the community, invites there and however they could come back to us. And I think it's lovely to celebrate the entire district in that aspect. Yes, the Bassett school system has been around for over 125 years, but as a unified entity, it's 60. So I think that's an excellent way to align with the strategic mission as well with all the sites as well. And doesn't hurt to have a recruitment event for all of our elementary schools,
Nope,
show our
exactly.
adult education
big
program, our child development program. So I think there's a lot of ways that we could look at this.
Definitely.
Is there any way that we could get kind of an update on how things are going? Because we don't want to micromanage, but we do want to know if anything's gonna go or if anything's
Well,
stopping.
that's what I was
Or if they
gonna
need
ask. My
help.
next question is, how would we direct, so the direction would be for you to meet with site administrators and then come back to us?
And so what I would like to do, if it's okay with the board, I know we have a board meeting September 10th. It gives me a couple of weeks. I'll put a presentation. It might obviously not be detailed yet, but just like an overview of talking to our administration, our team, how we put together a committee, what it would look like, because one thing that I mentioned, and I think it is gonna be important, is no matter what we do, we have to have it fun and engaging. And part of that, I know I talked about, obviously bouncers for little kids, maybe opening up the swimming pool. Just a lot of different activities while they're on campus to see the full campus and what we offer, while promoting the school and all our other schools as well. So parents want to come to more than just a celebration of a high school.
Why don't we do it suggest, I know I shouldn't suggest this, but the county fair, kids go in, it gets parents to go to county fair because their kids are on the little stage. We provide a stage. We filter kids in through each of our elementary schools. Parents will come
How about a
and they'll
Bassett Day?
stay. You just have to build it. They will come.
Exactly.
That's what we did for the 100, that every school participated. We had a parade starting from Edgewood down
Willow, no?
Willow, all the way around the high school.
We'll start off with the 5K run. How about
Around the high
that?
school, and then we ended up at the high school again.
Yeah.
And we had a big, we had
No, a 5K run to go to all the campuses.
Yeah.
And 98, right?
Yes.
I'll sit down for Don Julian.
We'll do a 2.5 Ks.
Every school has
2.5 K.
to give 10 minutes of entertainment.
I like that.
Okay, so, okay,
And I would appreciate any suggestions you may have that I can also take back if you let me know of stuff that's been done in the past that's been successful.
Yeah.
I know you're just mentioning, so that would be great.
All right,
and
don't get
sometimes
bouncers.
things don't have to be.
Insurances don't sometimes cover.
Yeah.
And sometimes things don't have to be so costly. We recently did a reunion at South Hills Academy where my kids went to school, and basically the food trucks that were there, you're on your own. Here, I'm
Yeah.
giving you a venue. You
Yes.
charge, can you give us back a percentage of
Yeah, I like
sales?
that.
So we
Yeah.
actually made money on that. So, but it went over very well. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
those are some ideas, but anyway.
PTAs
okay.
also participated the last
Ooh,
time.
yeah.
We had each
PTA.
PTA.
We had very active.
Do the reflection
PTAs.
dinner.
And
kind of
group
thing.
selfies, different
Yeah.
things. Mhm.
Okay, so we're
Alright.
good?
Thank you.
Just let them know. We're
Thank
not
you.
pushing
Sure,
it.
I don't think so. I think it's just.
Okay, so we will
You guys
wait,
directed.
so we'll wait till September,
You
to
guys
hear
got
from
it.
September 10th.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm excited for that and hoping to see something. Okay, moving on, consent calendars. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered by the board to be items that will be enacted by the board in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless a board member, staff, or public requests a specific item to be discussed and or removed from the consent calendar. With that said, can I get a motion? I'm sorry, is there anything anybody would like to pull from the consent calendar? No? 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 Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the consent calendar as listed?
So,
Motion by Board Member Rivera, seconded.
I second.
Seconded by Board Member Barajas. Roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Right, I gotta get to the last page. Okay, adjournment. The next regular meeting is scheduled for September 10th. 2024. If anybody has no further discussions, nothing else to add? No? Okay, that being said, I adjourn the regular board meeting of August 27th. Can I get a motion to adjourn? I just want to do it.
Move.
Second.
What are you doing? Ms. Rivera. Roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. Now can I do it? And I adjourn the regular board meeting of August 27th, 2024 at 8:49 p.m.